Hey guys, for this new video, I really want to talk about the sci-fi film genre. I talked about action films in my previous genre discussion for film, and for this video, I really want to talk about sci-fi because I feel it's kind of something that's always growing. It's always getting bigger. It's always getting a mainstream audience at some point, and it also has kind of a cult following. What the nerds and the geeks kind of get into, like me. Um, so I really want to talk about in this video kind of the sci-fi genre, what I expect from it, what are some things that the genre should avoid as the future goes on with film. Um, what are just some things that have worked and have not worked in the past, and hopefully these filmmakers can learn from their mistakes and create even better sci-fi films in the future because of this video and from other videos that might happen in the future that make recommendations about the genre as well. Um, so first and foremost, guys, every sci-fi film should have sci-fi elements that work. Um, if you're a time traveling story, make sure your time traveling elements work, that they match up, that you kind of didn't cheat your way to a resolution of some kind. So always make sure your sci-fi elements work. If it's an alien invasion story, does the alien die? Does the alien get accepted from people? I think your sci-fi elements, no matter which one you choose, should work in some way for the story. Another thing to do too is make sure the science portion is fun in some way. So don't give us this film where these people are just doing math equations, science equations, filling up potions, and putting them in containers in this laboratory somewhere. Really give us a reason why we're in that place, why it's important we know about all this information, whether it's very sciencey or not very sciencey at all. But just kind of make it fun in some way. Like look at the James Cameron film Aliens. He was able to kind of get the science of these creatures and the mystery of these creatures. And he was able to put like a fun action film element into the movie. So I really wish there was more sci-fi films that kind of did that, like Terminator and all that kind of stuff. Um, there's kind of two ways you can make a sci-fi film. One of them is a very campy way, like the film The Fly by David Cronenberg, or you can make it very impressive, like let's say Avatar by James Cameron, or there's actually a lot of good sci-fi films by James Cameron that are very impressive, like the first two Terminator films. Um, impress us in some way, or like with the Star Wars films, impress us with these special effects that you're going to provide us with. Um, so like I said, you can either really impress your viewers or you can go the camp route like with David Cronenberg and make sure it's very fun with its campiness, like make sure it kind of has like a Party City melted hand and if you're going to melt something or like if your humans turning into a fly throughout the movie, make sure that those things work and stuff and just make sure it's funny and fun along the way. Um, One thing I've seen a lot of sci-fi films that work, and I really wish more sci-fi films did because I think it's kind of a interesting way to attract your viewer into the movie. Always kind of have some sort of a hidden theme about everyday life. In Back to the Future, it was the scene near the end of the first film where Marty sees Dr. Brown still shot, even though he went back right in time to possibly save him from being shot by those terrorists that caused the events of the movie to start with to begin with. It was, I think, the kind of the message specifically behind that scene and behind the movie alone is you can time travel as much as you want, but bad things are going to happen, good things are going to happen, things that you don't have control over or have control over are going to happen, or they're going to switch in some ways, even if you change the time space-time continuum and all that kind of stuff. Um, and also with the film Minority Report, kind of a hidden theme about everyday life is, police are police. You can predict the future if you want, but people are going to commit crimes. They just do. You can have the greatest technology in the world and the greatest supervision technology in the world, but people are still going to commit crimes. So kind of have this hidden theme about everyday life and kind of give us that theme within this interesting fictional world that you're providing us with. As far as negatives go, you guys, make sure your film is not uninviting to the viewers. Make sure, you're kind of giving us the benefit of the doubt in the sense that, you're kind of crediting the fact that we're going along with all of this, that, you're not introducing too many new things to us at once. If you're looking at a film like Star Trek or whatever, where you're introducing pretty much everything is new, It has its own terminology. You got to make sure that we're following along with it, because if you're sucked into this world and you're not letting us into it, we're not going to get into it because you're too sucked into it. So make sure that you're always inviting the viewer along for the ride. Um, like I kind of explained earlier, make sure the film isn't too sciency. Some of the best science fiction films I ever watched are the ones that can use the science well, like Jurassic Park, but make sure it's fun along the way, like Terminator or Aliens, or like I said, Jurassic Park again, or Minority Report, or Back to the Future, or anything like that. Um, Also, make sure your film isn't too action based or too creature based. Don't rely on the action scenes to make your science fiction work or to make it fun. And don't rely too much on the creatures that you might provide in the film, or whatever thing that makes it, science fiction like. Make sure you don't rely on it too much. You got to have a good storyline like any film. Like I also explained in my action film genre, storyline comes first. Whatever your genre is second, but the two have to be married in some way in order for the film to work. Um, so that was kind of my sci-fi discussion, you guys. I hope to make more genre discussions if hopefully these get views of some kind. And hopefully I'll see you guys here for another video.